Hey YouTube, I am Mr. Fenris, and in this video I will get you in touch with the best mobile fighting games you can play in 2022 on your smartphone. Warning. The top is structured according to the game's graphics and features it has. The list does not contain games that have automatic ads or are poorly developed. 10. Brawlhalla is a 2D action fighting game that can be pretty well summed up as cartoony. The standard game mode drops 4 players into a cramped platform arena and rains down weapons and items for players to beat the bejesus out of each other with. All you have is a dash and 2 attack buttons, but there is a multitude of combos and play styles to employ. So your fighting strategy makes the difference between winning and losing. The best recommendation is to learn the game first in training mode. As of right now, there are 50 different legends to play with their own distinct names, stats, and customization options. Each one has a set of 2 weapons they can pick up on the map, both of which modify the moveset and playstyle significantly. It has over 80 million players. The Steam version alone is currently riding an average daily peak of 24,000 players, the highest so far, and all signs are pointing north for its player base in the coming years as it continues to cultivate a rich esports scene. The game is one of the few to sport completely free, unrestricted crossplay between its platforms. You can get the game on PS4, Xbox One, Steam, Nintendo Switch, Android, iOS, and play with absolutely anybody on any of the platforms. The cherry on top of the cake is that Brawlhalla holds free to play, free to win as one of its core principles. Blue Mammoth makes the commitment wherever it can that the game will always be free to play and that any in-game purchase will be purely cosmetic. 9. Glory Ages, Samurais is a tactical action game where you control a samurai that faces off against lots of enemies in a series of battles that are as epic as they are brutal. Each stroke and movement can mean the difference between life and death. Control systems in Glory Ages, Samurais are very well adapted to tactile devices. With your left thumb you can move your character, while with your right thumb you'll get to attack, block and dodge. In addition, you'll find there's also a Fury button that you can use from time to time to increase the damage you inflict. In Glory Ages, Samurais you'll find 2 different game modes. Hearts lets you play a series of levels that are increasingly difficult, where you'll have to face an even greater challenge every level you beat. This game mode is especially useful to obtain coins to buy better weapons and improve your character's skills later on. The second game mode of Glory Ages, Samurais, is endless. In this mode you fight against enemies, non-stop, until inevitably one of them manages to end your adventure. Ideally you'll use good skills and improved weapons if you want to survive in this mode. At the end I can say Glory Ages, Samurais is an excellent 3D action game that offers a brutal and fun gaming experience. Graphics in this game are an absolute beauty, and even work perfectly at 60 frames per second. 8. Shadow Knight Ninja. This game is a 2D fighting game that channeling your skills against the dark forces ascended from hell, invading the world, that tragedy struck every Harmonia citizen and made everything sink to the depths of despair. You will play the role of Noah, a Shadow Knight. You need to make your way though the Hell Gate, fighting evil enemies, and bring back the light of Harmonia. Once the fight progresses you will find Ashley and Lucius, your companions on the journey saving Harmonia. As the game progresses, the mobs will be harder to kill, so you will need to equip the appropriate items and upgrade them to bring back the light to Harmonia. Finally, I can say that this game has its place in this top, having a successful RPG system and a gameplay full of surprises. 7. Injustice 2. Injustice 2 features the most robust single-player experience in a fighting game to date. With a surprisingly good story, true cinematic quality visuals, and an addictive gear-based system propelled by the multiverse, NetherRealm has turned the traditionally multiplayer genre into a game worthy of recommendation for solo fighters as well as competitive fighting game fans. This game feels like a console fighting game because of the whole new dimension character movement. You can swipe left to back up or flee attacks. Swipe right to lunge into your opponent or pursue. Down swipes perform a low attack, while swiping up performs an aerial assault. You still hold to block and tap for quick attacks, skills being positioned on the right side as buttons that after charging the energy can be used to put the enemy to the ground. And of course, the roster has grown. Characters like Dr. Fate, Gorilla Grodd, and Black Canary have joined the fray. You can be sure more will be coming later as the game grows. Injustice 2 showers you with upgrades, gear, and loot. Each character's special moves can be improved, special abilities can be unlocked and reset, and customizable outfits or objects can be added to your fighters as well. Finally, I can say that Injustice 2 has a very well-structured gameplay, with amazing graphics and a lot of systems that will keep you busy leveling up. 6. Disney Mirrorverse offers a pleasantly deep mobile RPG fighting game with plenty of different game modes and options to keep players busy, but suffers from aggressive sales tactics that constantly push players to purchase premium bundles and items even when they aren't necessary. The actual gameplay involves players controlling one character while battling waves of enemies. Players have 3 attacks: a quick attack that they use by tapping on their attack button, a slightly stronger charged attack, which occasionally has additional powers if their character is strong enough, that they use by holding down the attack button, and a special move that comes with a cooldown timer but has a variety of effects depending on the character. A player's other characters operate independently, but players can still control when they use their respective special attacks. Players can also move their character around the stage via a control dial. There are a handful of different game modes that keep players busy. The story mode takes players through a rather generically written quest to solve why the Disney Mirrorverse is under attack by fractured, dark shadow versions of existing characters. In my opinion, the gameplay loop of play a few story missions, level up your characters, run out of items, go on supply runs, level up some more, and back to story missions is actually pretty addictive. It's a well-crafted loop that digs its hooks into you and doesn't let go without a fight. 5. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is the mobile entry of the popular ultra-violent fighting game franchise available on iOS and Android devices. Players collect different fighters and create teams of 3 to fight against opponents using a variety of hand-to-hand martial arts, melee weapons, and even guns and magical abilities. Keeping with the franchise's signature style, the combat is brutal and bloody, with no shortage of gore shown on screen. Some characters and their variants' outfits, particularly the female characters, are portrayed in a more sexualized manner and in revealing costumes. Some characters and their variants also appear smoking cigars, drinking, etc. In the end, Mortal Kombat looks and sounds fantastic. The character models are detailed and well animated. The user interface is slick and easy to use. 4. Knights Fight 2. Knights Fight 2 is a 3D action fighting game set in the Middle Ages. This time, you get to control a knight in full armor and take part in exciting one-on-one duels. Plus, you can fight against the game's AI or even against other online players. Controllers in this game are perfectly adapted to touch screens. You can control the direction of your sword and block enemy attacks using your left thumb. Keep in mind that if you point your sword in one direction and press the attack button, you'll swing your weapon that way. The 2 main game modes in Knights Fight are single-player campaign mode and online duels. In the first one, you fight against super strong enemies, which allows you to win all kinds of rewards like new helmets, armors, and weapons. The second mode, on the other hand, gives you the chance to test your skills against opponents from all over the world. In the end, Knights Fight 2 is an excellent action fighting game that gives you the opportunity to experience medieval fights. You'll also have a wide variety of weapons at your disposal: swords, axes, maces, dawn stars, and much more. 3. Skullgirls. Skullgirls is a visually stunning and beautifully animated fighting RPG that delivers one of the most cohesive gaming experiences on mobile. In this game, you need to collect, customize, and upgrade unique and colorful fighters on their quest to find the Skull Heart and defeat the corrupted monster known as the Skullgirl. The first time you enter the game, you will be greeted by a tutorial that will show you everything you need to know to get started. You can press 3 times on the right side of the screen to make a combo. Swipe right to do a dash attack, and then left to dash back. Use both fingers to block attacks. And the more you fight, you build blockbuster attacks that when loaded will deal devastating damage to the enemy. The more you play with your current fighters, you will level them up. And using the skill tree you can upgrade your fighter's status and abilities. To unlock fighters you need to open relics. And you will get a randoms fighter. In conclusion, this game has its place in this top for the very good graphics and for the control you have over the fighters. 2. The Elder Scrolls. The first thing that you need to know is that the game is beautiful, particularly in terms of visuals. The visuals are some of the best that you'll get on a mobile game, and there's no denying that Bethesda created a pretty diverse world that has character development and several other staples of the Elder Scrolls experience. On the way to your city you find yourself in the middle of a war where your city was destroyed, and to get there you will have to defeat some guards and mobs. The character can move through the controller on the right side. To attack you have to slide right or left. To attack mobs you have to wait for the right moment for it to approach. When you enter the game for the first time after arriving in the city, you have to choose your race and shape your character as you wish. The changes made can be of the body, face, nose, eyes, mouth, etc. The town mode is the game's main mode, which includes the story quests. This is a hub area where the player can get quests and meet NPCs to progress the game's story. The player's hub town starts as dilapidated and destroyed due to an attack before the game started, and they are tasked with both rebuilding and upgrading it, which unlocks more quests and NPCs to interact with. Items can also be found during the missions if you break the vases found during the missions. At the end I can say The Elder Scrolls Blades is a visually impressive mobile game, with well-designed systems and quite intense adventure. 1. Shadow Fight Arena. It has its place as number 1 for its very good graphics, game mode, and systems. With a bunch of interesting characters and an encouraging reward system, this is one game that can keep you engaged for a long time. As you play, your rank gets upgraded and so do your characters. Each level improves the strength and awards special powers for the Shadow mode. In fact, the Shadow mode capabilities can make or break your matches. On the whole, Shadow Fight 4 Arena is fun to play for beginners and seasoned mobile gamers. The tried and tested PvP 2D gameplay gets a well-polished presentation and the controls are easy to learn. The more time you spend in here, the better you get at defeating your opponents. The reliable on-device performance even on low-end smartphones and the gorgeous graphics, as well as special effects, may pull you more than you think. It is definitely worth a try.